This book primarily, meaning mainly, concerns itself with the nature of recovery, something that I desperately need. If you are an addict and have found this book, please give yourself a break and read this motherfucker. And read it, right? And I'm gonna say two things about this book. One is, if you ever want to hide a secret, put it in a book. Put it in a book, and you just give it to somebody, and tell them the secret to anything you ever wanted to know is in this book. And what I did was, when they told me that, I told you I read Horson. So I took the book home and I put it down. And I kept asking them, how am I gonna be able to go throughout the life without the use of drugs? Answer right here. Yeah, this is the answer. And then, what can I do to make sure I don't go back to using again? It's right here in the book. It tell me in the book. How will I find freedom? It's in the book. It's in the book. All I got to do is look in the book. And here's the thing. And if I don't know what page to go to, all I got to do is go to the back index here. It's an index. Yeah, and in this index, it has a lot of stuff that it talks about. It talks about assets and anonymity. And when I was asked people what is anonymity, it's in the book. It's in the book. The book that them people gave me. It's in the book. That's one. And number two, I heard this person say that if you put a basketball in my hand, it might be worth, we talking about inflation now, so it might be worth, I don't know, $13, $20. I don't know. But if you put it in Michael Jordan's hands, it's worth billions of dollars. You give me a little golf ball, I don't know what they worth, but let's say they worth $15. Right? But you put it in Tiger Woods' hands at one point in time, and it was worth millions of dollars. You give this book to the average person, and what is it going for now? $12 and something? It's worth it. But you give it to an addict, and it becomes priceless. I finally realized that. Right? So I leave that place, and I move into this recovery house. And I move into this recovery house. And at this recovery house, again, not affiliated with Narcotics Anonymous, I had to move. It tells us that there is no such thing as a geographical cure. However, I needed a geographical start. Yeah, I couldn't go back to what I was using because it tells me I need to change my playgrounds, playmates, and playthings. I took that literally. Not literally, literally. Yeah, I took it literally. Yeah. And so I did that. And I left that house when I was married. Because I was no longer going to move into a house with a man that I was not married to. What I learned as a result of step work, this is just me. What I learned as a result of step work, because I was molested as a child, raped as a child, abused as a child, up until I was 19 years old. Then I just took over and just started molesting myself and raping myself and abusing myself and just, myself. But in order for me to stop that trauma, I had to stop the damn behavior. So how am I going to shack up with somebody and have sex when I haven't even addressed the issues of my trauma of being raped, abused, and molested? I learned that it was not possible for me. That was an unresolved issue that I had to deal with in order for me to recover. Because I'm not just recovering from using drugs or from a hopeless state of mind. I'm recovering from all that bullshit. Thinking that I was ugly, thinking I was too dark, thinking I was dumb, thinking I was too poor, thinking I wasn't enough, thinking I didn't have nothing to offer. I had to recover from all of that. It says we practice these principles in what? All of our affairs. Not just drugs. Because, see, when the drugs is gone, you still got this crazy motherfucker sitting in front of you. And the antidote is in the steps. And if I don't get to the exact nature, I'm talking about me, I ain't talking about you. But if I don't get to the exact nature, I'm still going to do the same old shit because I come in here with that residue from the streets, from my addiction. It's still sprinkled on me. And in order to get rid of it, in order to be clean, yeah, I got to do the work that's necessary in order for me to be clean. Right? So fast forward. Spiritual principles. So my friend, and she was really my friend because it says just for the day we will find someone in NA who believes in us and wants to help us in our recovery. I'm talking about all areas of our lives, okay? So I'm sitting in the audience. She invited me to her graduation. She's walking across the stage to get her bachelor's degree. And back then I was still calling women bitches. And I said, look at that bitch. She thinks she cute. The fuck? This my friend. She's still sick. Still sick. Suffering from jealousy. Suffering from envy. Right? But by this time, guess what? Recovery done kicked in. And another voice said, stop it. Instead of you being jealous, go ask her how she did it. And when she got off that stage, I asked her how she did it. And as a result, I walked a couple stages myself. Because it says again in our literature, if you want what we have, you do what we do. Do all what we do. I can't pick and choose what I'm going to do. Because picking and choosing, that's the result I'm going to get. I'm going to get the results of picking and choosing. But if I do what you do, then I'm going to get what the hell you get. Because that's the higher power that I serve. My higher power is not going to let me sit in a meeting and see you become successful and you become successful and you get happy and you get happy and I don't get happy. Because if that's the kind of higher power I have, I need to get rid of his ass because he ain't working. And so I'm glad that it says we have a God of our own understanding. So now I'm living the life that I always prayed for. And it's all due to Narcotics Anonymous, my sponsor, the 12 steps. The other thing I wanted to share about is it's so funny. Because I told you about that girl that I couldn't stand. And I asked her to be my temporary sponsor. And she looked at me and said, I don't do temporary recovery. And she walked off. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I told you about the gift of desperation. Wait a minute. And I asked her to sponsor me. But at 18 months, I got too big for my britches. And I started judging the way she was living her life, forgetting that mine wasn't still together yet. But I ended up with a sponsor that became my sponsor and stayed my sponsor for 12 years. And she passed away. But the thing that I want to tell you about Kathy Benson is this. She taught me that the newcomer is the most important person in a room. She taught me never to forget what it was like to be a newcomer, because when I forget what it's like to be a newcomer, I will start mistreating newcomers. And when I start mistreating newcomers, guess what I'm going to become? A newcomer. My last miracle. So when I got clean, November the 7th, 2010, somebody handed me this speaker CD, and it had this lady on it, and her name was Kathy H. And when I heard her CD, I said, oh my God, somebody finally, she gave me the words to express how I was feeling, what I was going through, when I was using, when I was clean. And you know, she took me through the steps like it was a house, and I understood every last analogy she gave. I said, hey, she is bad. I wish I even knew her, right? Fast forward, COVID comes. I tell you, boy, my God is like, you can have him too, but my God is, so COVID come, and I'm on this virtual meeting, and she the speaker. I said, oh my God. I got to DM her. I got to let her, I got to get her phone number. I got her phone number. Now, mind you, I had been listening to this speaker for 12 years. 12 years, these same CDs over and over and over and over and over. I could tell her story better than she can. That's how much I was listening to it. And I got her number. and I started reaching out to her. It was sporadically, but I started reaching out to her. And then my sponsor became sick. And so I asked her, would she take me through the steps? Because I knew that I needed to do the steps again. And this ain't no one and done program. I need to share that too, because, you know, when I first came in here, I wanted microwave recovery. I want it now. I want it done in 30 seconds, and I want to be gone. And recovery is like life. It happens every fucking day. Every day. So I started talking to her, and she said yes, that she would take me through the steps. And then in the meantime, in between time, my sponsor really got sick. And the day that I took her home, I asked my now sponsor, would she sponsor me? And she said yes. And so I have the sponsor I always dreamed of having, right? And I don't believe in luck. Luck is for cards and dice, not life's events. And so I have a problem with control. And the main reason I do, now I know, is because I'm the oldest of 4. My mother left me in charge, and my brothers were my responsibility. Well, they didn't stop being my responsibility just because they got grown and left the house. You still my damn responsibility, and you still gonna do what I tell you to do. I don't give a damn if you are 50. And so one of my brothers did something that pissed me off. It pissed me off because he wasn't doing what I told him to do, because I know better. And I call her, and I'm fussing and I'm yelling about the situation, and she trying to give me a solution. I'll shut it down, and she give me another solution. I'll shut it down, and she give me another solution. I'll shut it down. She said, you know what? I think I'm just gonna call you back. She said, because you don't want to be in a solution. You just want to sit here and justify and rationalize why you ought to be in control of your brother's life. And I got that damn moment of clarity that said, this the woman that you wanted to sponsor you ever since you got clean, and you ain't trying to hear what the fuck she got to say. You better shut up. And I did. But I shared that to let you know how quickly my disease can resurface. My last thing. You know, this is how you can tell what my spirituality is. Tell me no. Yeah, that's how you know. Because that's when I show my ass, when you tell me no. I don't care how long I got clean. But today I'm getting a little bit better at that. And today I have a sponsor that is willing to get in all the nooks and crannies and cracks and crevices to bring out the disease so I can see it for what it really is. And this book brings out the cracks, the crevices, and the reality of what the disease is, but it also gives me what recovery is. And that's a new way to live. Thanks for allowing me to share.